Is a single if function no longer enough for you? In this video, I'll show you the most important if function combinations in Excel, from AND function and or logic to sum and count functions, all the way to VLOOKUP and IFs function. Let's get started. The AND function requires that all specified conditions be met. When combined with the IF function, it allows us to create more advanced business logic. For example, an employee may need to achieve sales above a certain amount and maintain attendance above a specific percentage to qualify for a bonus. Unlike the AND function, the OR function requires only one of the specified conditions to be true. This means that the IF function will return a positive result as long as at least one of the criteria is met. The real power of Excel comes from combining AND and OR functions inside a single IF formula. This allows us to model complex business scenarios and automate decision-making that would otherwise require manual checks. Imagine you have the results of several tests and want to determine whether the average score exceeds a certain value. Instead of calculating the average manually, the average function does the calculation, while IF function makes a decision based on the result. The next combination is IF with sum functions. In business reports, we often need to check whether total sales have reached a specific target. The sum function calculates the total, and the IF function returns the appropriate message or result based on that value. Another very useful combination is the IF function with COUNTIF function. The COUNTIF function counts how many times a specific criterion appears in a range. Then, the IF function can determine whether a required number of occurrences has been reached. One of the most common issues in spreadsheets is dealing with empty cells. This is where IF and ISBLANK functions become useful. Together, they allow us to check whether a cell is blank and return the appropriate message based on the result. As the number of conditions grows, a single IF statement is often no longer enough. That's when we use nested IF functions, placing one IF function inside another to create multiple levels of decision-making. However, newer versions of Excel also include the IFs function, which provides a cleaner and more modern alternative to multiple nested IF statements. IFs formulas are easier to read, write, and maintain, especially when working with many conditions. Finally, we come to one of the most practical combinations for everyday Excel work, If with VLOOKUP function, the VLOOKUP function searches for data in another table and returns the corresponding value. By passing the result of VLOOKUP into an if function, we can make decisions based on information retrieved from other data sources. This approach is extremely useful for checking the status of products, employees, customers, or any other information stored in separate tables. As you can see, the if function is much more than a simple logical test. When combined with other Excel functions, it becomes a powerful tool for automating tasks and analyzing data. If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments which if combination you use most often in your work. Also, tell me which Excel function you'd like to see covered in a future tutorial.